은행돈 6천만 원으로 삼성증권에서 해주식 투자 TSL 보유 3주차입니다. 12월 28일 테슬라는 본장에서 26.94달러 0.5% 상승하여 1093.94달러로 마감했습니다. 장중 한때 1117달러 선까지 상승하는 모습이었지만 차익 실현 매도로 1100달러 선은 지키지 못했습니다. 워렌 버핏은 말했죠. 복잡한 주식을 산다고 해서 그에 대한 보너스가 있는 것은 아니다. 그 말에 동의하고 어린아이가 인정할 수 있는, 쉽게 이해할 수 있는 주식을 사서 보유하는 것이 투자에 여유도 생기고 마음이 풍요로워지는 것 같습니다. 테슬라 일론머스크의 인터뷰 영상을 보고 있으면 테슬라 주식을 보유할 수밖에 없는 이유가 생기는 것 같습니다.
If there's a very compelling product or service, then that's the thing that is important, not the company. A company is just an assemblage of people to create a compelling product or service. And if a company does not provide great products and services, it should not exist. I've just basically kept all the chips on the table and just let's play another round. And then SpaceX and Tesla ended up being valuable, and that's where I'm. But how would you assess the historical good of Tesla? I'd say it's the degree to which Tesla accelerated sustainable energy. So we need some form of sustainable energy generation and consumption, or civilization is going to collapse. Tesla increases the probability that the future will be good for humanity. So they got to be things that are inspiring, that get you in the heart. It's not that I care about starting companies. If there's a very compelling product or service, then that's the thing that is important, not the company. A company is just an assemblage of people to create a compelling product or service. And if a company does not provide great products and services, it should not exist. There's no point in a company for the sake of being a company. That's pointless. Companies should only exist to provide great products and services. A company is just literally a group of people.
So do we have to close down, or can we stay open?
I think there's a lot of companies out there that probably should just be disbanded because they don't make compelling products and services. It's pointless, and those people better that those people do something else.
You made plenty of money, and you could do whatever. What drives you to just keep on going?
I didn't put all this effort into building SpaceX and Tesla because I thought they were easy ways to make money. Anyone who starts a car company thinking it's the easy way to make money is a fool. There are only two car companies that have not gone bankrupt in the history of the United States, and that's Ford and Tesla. And Tesla came within inches of going bankrupt multiple times, as did SpaceX. So, and who starts a rocket company thinking it's going to be successful? I started both. Both those companies I thought had less than a 10% chance of success, and I thought it was overwhelmingly likely that I would lose the money that I made from PayPal. I came to North America when I was 17, just by myself, and I had a few $1,000s in traveler's checks, back when traveler's checks were a thing, in Canadian dollars. I landed in Montreal. I have some family in Canada, and my mom's uncle lived in Montreal, but we didn't even know his phone number, so I landed in Montreal, and my mom says, I just got a letter back from my uncle, and he's in Minnesota or something. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what to do now. So I just stayed in a youth hostel and bought a bus ticket across Canada, and I worked at various odd jobs and stuff. I worked on my mom's cousin's wheat farm in Saskatchewan for 6 weeks. That's where I had my 18th birthday, actually. And then went to college in Canada for a couple of years. I paid my own way through college, by the way. But in Canada, it's easier because the college is more subsidized, and I was a Canadian citizen through my mom. So, and I got some scholarships and loans and stuff, and then I applied to the University of Pennsylvania, and didn't think I'd be able to go because tuition is really high, but they gave me a scholarship and loans and stuff, so I was able to go there. I graduated with about $100,000 in student debt, and I was going to do grad studies at Stanford, and decided to put that on hold to try starting an internet company. I tried to get a job at Netscape, but they didn't. I'd send my resume and get a response. So I was like, okay, I guess I can't get a job so I was like, I guess I want to do something on the internet. I got to start my own company. But I ended up writing the first maps and directions on the internet. I wrote it personally. Maps, directions, yellow pages, white pages, on a puny computer, like with hardly any. So you had to be like, the code had to be super tight. I even have some patents on like maps and directions and yellow pages and white pages and stuff. They're lapsed now, but that company ended up getting bought by Compaq for about $300 million. I owned 7% of the company, so I got like $20 million from that. Put most of it into X.com, which merged with Confinity to create PayPal. And then I got about $180 million from that. And for all of that into SpaceX, Tesla, and Solar City. I just basically kept all the chips on the table and just like, let's play another round. And most people take their chips off the table, or at least some of their chips. And then SpaceX and Tesla ended up being valuable, and that's where I'm. But how would you assess the historical good of Tesla? I'd say it's the degree to which Tesla accelerated sustainable energy. And I've been interested in electric cars for a long time, since maybe high school, certainly early college. My original interest in electric vehicles was not so much due to environmental concerns, but rather from the concern that we'd run out of oil eventually, and or would become extremely scarce and expensive, and then civilization would collapse because we can drive cars or run power plants and stuff. So we needed some form of sustainable energy generation and consumption, or civilization is going to collapse. So that was my original interest in electric vehicles and solar energy.
Is that your answer for why you keep going? Is because these things make a difference. They make a difference ultimately for the flourishing of humanity, for the longevity of humanity. Is that why you're not on a beach somewhere sipping Mai Tais or White Claws?
Yeah. This is not about like trying to enrich myself. I do not live a life of conspicuous consumption. I work very long hours, but I think what Tesla's doing is important to the future, and that's why I keep doing it. Tesla increases the probability that the future will be good for humanity, and then for SpaceX, it's important that we take the actions like that we become a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species. This is an exciting, inspiring future. You need to have things that when you wake up in the morning, you're excited about the future. Why live if it's all about solving problems or being miserable? But why live? So they got to be things that are inspiring, that get you in the heart. And I think space is one of those things. So look at the Apollo program and sending people to the moon in '69, and wasn't that a great thing for all of humanity? Great thing. And if you ask people, what are some of the greatest things that humanity's ever done, that would be one of them. And I think, around the world, people would agree with that. But anyway, the point is, we want to have an exciting, inspiring future, and one where we're a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species. I think it is a much more exciting and inspiring future than one where we're forever confined to Earth and never go back to the moon. And the moon was our high water mark, and that's all we ever did. That's depressing.